I would like to welcome Mr. Duane VanHemert for the second show this year, the year 2016-17, school year, of course. And I cannot tell you how delighted I am to have you at the beginning of this year because, of course, the achievements that your part has done, and as probably our viewers have noticed, you are the Director of Facilities Management. And so all this construction and additions and all this comes on the shoulders of this wonderful old veteran and warrior, right? And it's my privilege to welcome you tonight. And as a matter of fact, I have a very little introduction. Number one, to congratulate you on the news that I just received that the American Institute of Architects meeting in Des Moines have awarded excellence in energy efficient design to our two schools here. One of them is Alexander, the other one is Penn.
Right.
And this by itself is great. You know, I know there is these two places were served by the OPN architect.
That's correct.
But that's in the meantime the selection of the winning people.
Right.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So I would like to congratulate you
Thank
personally
you. We're excited
for this recognition, and I think that's very important because I think, as I learned, Alexander achieved about 61% energy saving.
That's correct.
And I'm not going to use the terminology that's a little difficult for our lay people, the cajole and all that. But as well as the Penn Elementary was able to achieve 55%.
That's correct.
Again, annual savings in their energy on thermal.
Right. They base that on the projected annual cost for energy, and then they evaluate the building code, and we exceeded the building code by about 40 to 50%.
And it's a British unit, right?
British thermal units.
Yeah.
They projected how many units we actually saved, and the schools competed all over the upper Midwest, and we were fortunate to be 3rd and 7th out of 10.
Wonderful. So for people who may read this in the paper, the letters K, B, right?
That's thousand.
T, U.
Yes.
K is the south and the kilo.
Right.
The kilojoule.
Right.
And British thermal unit.
That's correct.
Just to explain it and make it simple. Now, this is, of course, just a little trivial part of our talk, but I want you to update our people who are driving everywhere and see your work. You have a show all the time, right?
Right. We're always on display.
Always on display.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got projects going on.
Nobody can say, oh, they don't work.
Well, all you have to do is drive around our school district. We've started a true transformation of the district, I think.
So I will leave Liberty and Hoover, New Hoover now a little bit, and let us start with the little projects and then move to those. And then I would like to see your vision for the near future.
All right. Well, we've completed a number of projects already. We've done Penn Elementary, we've done Twain Elementary, we've done a little work at Hoover and Hills. We've also done some work at Melissa Semitic Penn Elementary. So at Penn, we did a nice 8-classroom addition and a new gymnasium. Twain got a new art room, new music room, and a gymnasium, and a complete renovation. And Alexander, of course, is a new school for 500 students. And those are projects that have been done for a while, and they're already being used by students. And this past summer, we completed Coralville Central, which was a total renovation, new geothermal heating cooling system, which helps us get those energy awards.
Right.
And we also started Lucas Elementary this summer, and that'll be done next year. and that's getting a new geothermal energy and a makeover and a new front office and a more secure entrance. The big projects this summer are Liberty High School, which we started a year ago, and it will be done a year from now. And it will open with room for 1,000 students, and that's up between what I would call Coralville and North Liberty. Well underway. We're already painting walls inside and putting on tile and getting ready to do floors and things like that. So it's moving pretty well. That will just be that'll be ready for school the fall of 17. The athletic complex won't be done until 19, but they'll be able to use it. They'll have some practice fields. The new Hoover Elementary is east of town on American Legion Road and the intersection with Barrington Road. And it's a brand new school for 600 students. And it's going to be a school with a hardened storm shelter so that kids will have a safe place to go. It's from preschool through 6th grade. And it's shaping up pretty good. It's out of the ground, and I was out there this morning with a couple of principals looking it over, and it even has a lost and found room. So it has just about everything in it. It's a pretty nice school.
And are the people who are Hoover enthusiasts, are they happy with this?
I think over time it's changed. Yeah, I initially I don't believe they were,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of parents have seen that.
When they see that.
Right, that it's a new school, new environment, and it really it will be good for the east side of Iowa City, I believe.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let us proceed. And now with Liberty, you mentioned something about the athletic facility.
Yes, that every high school needs a football field, baseball, softball, soccer.
So the kids can be bused somewhere?
Yeah, I think the football team is going to play at West High for a couple
Okay.
years. We're building a practice soccer field, and we've got we're thinking about building a practice softball field at other places so they'll have a place to practice when the school opens. The facility itself is dependent on the bond issue, which we hope to have for a vote in September of 17. And if that is successful, we'll start in the spring of 18, and it'll be done by 19.
And I saw some work that you're doing at Weber too.
Yeah, can't forget Weber, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, Weber's actually getting 6 new classrooms.
It's in my way every day.
Yeah,
so.
do you go by there? Yeah, and it's got 2 new kindergarten rooms, and then we're also adding a new gymnasium because the gymnasium there was kind of undersized. So we put that up in concrete panels, and it went up pretty fast if you drive by there every day.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's well underway, and that'll be ready next fall as well. Sometimes I have so many of them going, I have to think about where they're all at, but they're all my babies. I just have to remember where they are.
Right. And I saw when we were watching the schools, and you said, this is Wickham, this is this,
Right.
this is
Yeah.
Spurlock. They are your babies, huh?
Yeah, I've been here long enough now that I know where they're all at. I know what they look like. I know who's in them and what needs
Right.
to be done.
So now you have a very supportive structure of the Board of Education, right?
Yes, I think they've been very, very supportive since I've been here. I've been here nearly 4 years, and I think they've done well. They've really started a transformation. It's truly, we're touching every building in the district, and when we're done, they'll all be up to 21st century, standards. Even though they may have the older facade, like a Longfellow
Right.
or a Mann, the insides will be first class, and they'll be, up-to-date modern classrooms that are all air conditioned. I think that's a big thing.
Before we move further to the vision, I would like to ask you, what would you like to see our people in the district, in this community, doing in order to support the bond issue?
Well, I think it's important to spread the news about all the good things I've seen. All the projects have been done on time, and all the projects have been done under budget. And I think that's a huge compliment to the community, the contractors, and everybody, architects, the design teams, and we've been able to get them all done on time and all done under budget. And the reason that's important is, 1, we have limited funds, and 2, the kids are coming the first day of school, whether you want them to or not, so the facilities have to be ready. And the contractors go out of their way, as well as our own staff, to make sure they're ready. So I think that's the message, that the school board has done a good job planning the projects, and that the district has done a good job of implementing the plan. It's going well, and I think Iowa City Schools has demonstrated they're up to the task. So if you have any doubts about whether or not we can accomplish it, you shouldn't. That's the message. We can get her done.
Last time we were together talking on this show, I focused a lot on the safety and security of schools.
Right.
And I can tell you now, it's very evident that this is very successful.
Yes,
Some schools, it's really difficult.
It is.
Even for the sub to go there and enter.
All the elementary schools, whether they've been renovated yet or not, have been brought up to today's standards. They all have security systems, and they all have, improved security cameras and those types of things, and electronic door access. The junior highs are done. The elementary schools are done. City High is in progress as we speak, and West High we're going to do next year. So West High is actually the last one to get the security upgrade. So when we're done, we will literally spend millions making the schools safer, and I think we can be proud of that.
And now all the elementary schools are secured.
They are. Yes, they are. Yep. We have up-to-date systems in them.
So if some visitor would like to go to visit the school, what are the steps?
Typically, you have to go through, the front door will be open, but you'll come into an atrium that the inner door is secured. So you'll be forced to go into the office and acknowledge who you are to the staff and sign in, and before they open the door to let you on into the school.
Oh, okay.
And that's one piece of the security, but it's an important piece, because during the day our buildings are typically locked, and you have to have access or go through the security part to get in.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
So let us move now to the vision. You have projects coming.
Yeah, well, we're working on 2 projects now that I think are more than just vision, but they're going to happen next year. Longfellow, which is a beautiful, beautiful school. Matter of fact, when the year we finished Longfellow will be its 100th anniversary, and 2017,
Right.
or 2018, I should say. It'll be 100 years old. We're gonna
1970.
we're absolutely we're gonna put windows back in the building that are appropriate for the building, the architecture.
It was built in 1917, right?
1917, yeah.
This whole Sabin and Longfellow.
They're all
and,
that same age.
yeah.
Yeah, and Mann's in that group too.
Yeah.
But it'll be 100 years old.
Horseman too.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to get new windows, a new roof. It's getting a geothermal heating and cooling system. It's also going to get a new gym. It's going to get a new library. It's going to get a new office with that secure entrance. And as a result of some of the changes we're making, we're moving the library and a couple other rooms, the music and art. Those are new rooms. We're going to end up with 5 new classrooms at Longfellow as well. So it's going to be a tremendous school. Playgrounds are going to get totally redone. We'll have new ones when they come back. During that year, we're going to shut the school down. That year, those students will actually go to the new Hoover and go to school out there for a year.
Okay.
So they'll be the first group to use the new building while we're renovating theirs. So that's going to start next year. And also next year, we're going to start the renovation of West High School. And we're going to add a new competition gym, or practice gym that could be used for competition.
When would you start that?
We're going to start in the spring. The spring of
this
coming spring.
Next spring.
Yeah, both those projects. And then the other thing we're going to do at West High is add on to the kitchen. It's undersized, so we need to make it a little bit bigger. And right now, in preparation for the gym, we actually moved our tennis courts. So we tore the old tennis courts out. We're building new ones, and those will be done here in about a month. So.
As a parent of a West High kid, I know my kid drives, but I see the traffic still a problem at West High.
Well,
have you looked at this?
We have. We talked about it last week, and the 2 things are going to happen. One, there'll be a certain number of West High students that go to Liberty, so that will decrease the student body. That will help. And the parking lot behind West High has seen its life. It's lived, it's been around long enough. So when we're done, we'll probably end up replacing that entire parking lot, making it better, making the traffic flow a little better. Some of the aisles are wider than others, and just kind of a mishmash. So we're going to improve that, but we'll wait till we're all done because we've got all these construction vehicles
It's a
coming.
huge school,
Yeah.
definitely.
Right. So beyond that, West High will get a phase 2 as part of the bond issue. City High, we just put a third story on City High and added 6 classrooms. But in the future for City High will probably be another gym and a cafeteria and a wrestling room and some more classrooms. So that will be improved as well. And then we have in the near future we have all 3 junior highs to work on. North Central needs about 8 or 9 new classrooms. Northwest needs a couple. Southeast is packed about as tight as you can get it, so it's going to need some classrooms, cafeteria possibly, and kitchen, things like that. And then we still have elementary schools to do. So all of them get air conditioning if they don't already have it. Some will get improved air conditioning, but a lot of them will get new windows and doors and a fresh look. So that's all yet to come. When we're done, we'll touch them all.
Yeah, the air conditioning was a very nagging question
Yep.
from parents when we knew that we are going to meet and talk today. And I think last week when we met with our superintendent, he did explain this issue so well. He mentioned something about Lucas too. Are you doing something for Lucas?
Lucas, right now, it's in renovation right now. And we actually had to build some temporary classrooms because we're working inside the building. So there's a 10-plex that we had at Twain, and then it went to Coralville Central, and now it's at Lucas. And then we also had to buy 6 more, another 6-plex, so that there's 16 temporary rooms, because basically half of the school is out in the modulars, and they're happy actually because they are air conditioned, and the old school is undergoing the renovation. So it's a good environment, safe, it's away from the construction. But Lucas is getting a new geothermal. As we speak, they're running lines under the ground out there in the playground, and so it's getting all new windows and doors. The art room was in the front of the building, and the office was kind of back by a courtyard. So we're actually going to flip them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the art room will be next to the courtyard where they can enjoy that.
Right.
It's part of, and then the office.
Outdoor activity.
Right.
You know, they can
Exactly.
sit in the garden and
Yeah.
do some painting.
And then the office is at the front door where it needs to be for security.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big change at Lucas, is the flip, and then all the mechanical and windows and doors.
But that's good because now the main office will have a lot of paintings, a lot of decoration. Maybe you shouldn't change that.
I don't know. I think the art teacher is probably the most excited person at Lucas. And the principal's happy too because he's going to have a nice air-conditioned building. So
Yeah.
right now the district is about 77% air-conditioned. It's more than most people think. And when we're done, of course, in about 2-3 years, it'll be 100%.
I like the principal there.
At Lucas?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken's a good guy.
Yeah, amazing guy. He's
Yeah.
a very funny guy.
He
I
came
mean,
from Ankeny.
Everything for him is simple, and everything is so pleasant.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a very charismatic guy.
Maybe it's the job I'm in, but everybody seems to be happy to see us come. You know, they
Yeah.
they want to live with a mess, but they know when we're done with the mess that they're going to have a really nice
Yeah,
building.
he tells me that last year when he came, when he first got his job, you know, he said, I knocked on the door and the custodian was there. And I said, well, I'm the new principal. And nobody was there.
Yeah.
It was
During
summertime.
summertime.
And I'm sitting with the custodian, we're chatting, and we became so good friends
Yeah.
ever since.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't here the first week he was here. I called him and said, did they tell you your building's going to be renovated? And he goes, I don't remember hearing that. So anyway,
Yeah.
Ken's a good guy, and the project's going well.
So now, Duane, are you happy in Iowa City here?
I love it. Yeah, I'm
You
having a
love
good
it.
time. I love the people I work with. And
Tell me about your mom.
my mom?
Yeah,
Well, she's 91.
I know, but I
Yeah.
mean, she's okay.
Well, she's doing fine. Yeah,
Okay.
she still lives by herself.
I always ask personal questions. I did this with Steve too. I think it's very important for the people, the audience, to feel that you are just not just a machine and numbers and
No,
data.
we're real people, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I know that you commute to Iowa City.
I do.
In order to take care of mom, which is again is a very noble thing.
Well, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's my mom. You know, and so.
Yeah, I wish I had this chance.
Yeah, a lot of people do, and so it's not a burden for me at all. I check on her every day, and she's 100% deaf. She was born deaf, so it's a little more difficult to communicate long distance, but there are ways to do that too now. And but she lives by herself in a condo, and I just make sure she's got everything she needs and do her medicines for her and things like that. And she's pretty sharp. I hope I live as long as my mother.
So you commute, and of course the winter time probably is difficult, right?
It's more difficult in the winter. I'll stay here if I know there's a storm coming in, but typically I get up around 5:30 and get to work, and then I get home late some nights.
Well, you used to that because you are a veteran, right?
I am a veteran.
And maybe you tell our audience about this part. I mean, we finished their work.
Yeah.
We finished what we needed, right? So let's talk about about you. You were a veteran, right?
Yeah, I enlisted in July of 1969, and I was 19 years old, and was just kind of messing around at Iowa State. Wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So, like a lot of young guys, but went in the service and ended up being, as you know, a hospital corpsman or a medic, and I was on a hospital ship and took care of a lot of Marines and Navy guys, but we also served the Marine Corps. And most of these were young men who had sustained injuries and needed to start the reconstruction process. So when I went into the Navy, I wanted to be a CB, which is construction battalion, or a builder, because I was always good with my hands. Well, I ended up being an orthopedic technician, and all the ortho techs are carpenters. I just worked on bones instead of wood, you know. So it worked out really well. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I could have needed you.
Yeah. So at one time, I don't know if I can do it now. I knew all 206 bones, you know, but I've kind of lost that over the years. But matter of fact, I'm going to a 45-year reunion next month out in Philadelphia. A bunch of us corpsmen are getting together that were together 45 years ago. So that'll be fun.
That will be a change from the normal routine of the day.
As you know, the guys that you serve with, they're your brothers forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
it's camaraderie.
Oh yeah.
Continues.
Yeah, we're in contact with each other.
Right.
One of them gets sick, the rest of us know about it, and we do what we can. So.
Well, Duane, we have a couple of minutes for you to send any message to the community. Anything you feel that you want to talk about, anything that you feel that I overlooked during my interview today. Just talk from your heart to the community. What do you expect? Talk to the people who are concerned about the transportation and issues like that.
Yeah, well, you know, first of all, with the transportation, I think it's going to get better. When all the projects are done and all the facility master plan pieces are in place, we just bought some ground for another school up in North Liberty, for example, and that will help tremendously with the folks that live up at the north end. And we already had a site up there, so we now have 2 elementaries up there. But I guess that, and with all the projects we're doing, I think that all the attendance boundaries are going to change eventually, and the transportation will get better. But we've thought about that, so I think that will improve. And all I'd say to the community is, you know, when I first came here, I knew that Iowa City was a very demanding community. They expect a lot, and I think in terms of
and very opinionated.
The opinions, I have opinions, sure. I have them too, but you know, and in Des Moines they had them as well. But I think people that live in Iowa City School District, which includes Hills and North Liberty and Coralville, of course, they can be proud of what this district's doing, and they can be proud of the investment that's being made. We're absolutely doing it the right way. This isn't my first rodeo, but I think it's been the best one. you know, so it's going really well. And I think the people are going to be proud of what's going on, and they should get out and support the school district on the bond issue when it comes up, so we can finish the job.
Mr. VanHemert, that's a privilege to have you today. It's a
I enjoy
delight to have this interview with you, the second show of the year. And to our audience, our program will be aired very soon on Channel 18 and Channel 21, that is the Education Channel. And Channel 18 is Public Access TV on Public Access TV website, as well as, of course, YouTube. And you can go back and see Duane's last year interview on YouTube
Yeah,
already.
still there, huh?
Yeah, and getting a lot of hits, millions.
Millions, right. Well, I'm spending millions.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, it's been a
So,
pleasure. Pete.
ladies and gentlemen, have a very good night and enjoy Iowa City in the last few days of the summertime. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Duane.
Yep, thanks, Lonnie. It's always fun.